Like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below. This morning, Monday, the CCSA has reported 10,288 new cases during a 24-hour period, likely to have been Friday. In the same period, 12,494 people recovered and were released from quarantine, and 101 deaths have been attributed to the virus. The government exceeded its goal for the national holiday, Friday, of administering 1 million vaccines during the 24-hour period. In fact, 1.16 million jabs were given out around the nation. The Scholar program, providing vaccinations for 12 to 18-year-olds, has also taken off and is in many cases being coordinated by state schools with parents, ahead of plans for schools to reopen safely. Plans are afoot at the CCSA to recommend further easing of lockdown regulations, including a change to curfew hours, seeing the start moving to 10 o'clock in the evening. As yet unapproved, other changes would see preschool nurseries, museums, manicure shops, tattoo and massage shops along with cinemas allowed to reopen. Again, that's yet to be approved, but in all likelihood will be rubber-stamped early this week by the government. To date, Thailand has administered in excess of 50 million doses of vaccines, thus achieving 50% of the national goal. In so-called dark red zones where COVID has been a greater issue, the numbers are far higher. And for those over 60 or with underlying health issues, goals have in most cases already been achieved. 30 million more doses of Pfizer are due here by the month's end, and 24 million will arrive in October. The Office of the Insurance Commission has ordered Asia Insurance 1950 plc to temporarily stop selling non-life insurance policies, as a company audit has revealed a lack of funding sufficient to support policies sold. Described as being in an unstable position, the company is essentially insolvent in that its liabilities far exceed prospective income. Instead, the company must now show that it has secure backing and amend its methods and products. Some 80,000 businesses previously registered with the We Travel Together domestic tourist program will have to comply with stricter regulations in order to qualify for the third phase, which will extend from mid-October through to next year. Open to Thai ID card holders only. Savings of up to 40% on accommodation and the same on domestic air travel will be available. The weak storms have taken their tolls over the weekend, as flooding is reported from north to the Central Plains. Seeing Nakhon Ratchasima flooded in low areas, dams in many cases opened as reservoirs reached their max, and Phetchabun flooded too. Just two of the numerous flood areas reported, as Ayutthaya works to create flood defences in order to protect historical buildings and industrial areas. With levels rising, so the capital is bracing for flooding in some places too. With the rainy monsoon season in full swing, we can expect much more of the wet stuff, and for many living in low-lying areas, warnings have been given out across the country to move to higher ground. News that the NBTC has ordered mobile phone companies to block and ban spam messages was initially greeted warmly by the public at the weekend, but so far the ban extends only to those offering illegal content. There is a chance, though, that a blanket ban on the annoying messages from hawkers will go into effect, but until full documentation is released, we can only hope. Protesters in the capital have added to their arsenal, much to the disapproval of authorities, as paint bombs have become a favourite of those demonstrating against the Thai government. Riot police were pictured splattered with red paint as they were antagonised into using water cannon earlier than normal to break up advancing mobs. Meanwhile, at home and in our own province, this morning we're told of 587 new cases of the virus in a 24-hour period, seeing Chonburi reporting 218, Sirachar 136, Banglamung just 91, and the balance around the province. In the same 24-hour period, 6 deaths have been attributed to the virus. As the city and region saw large numbers of out-of-towners for the 3-day weekend and ferries busy to Koh Larn. So, with the setback of any opening dates for overseas tourists, the region is working to attract more domestic tourism, with deals and events to keep them coming. City Hall is coordinating several events between now and New Year to make Pattaya popular with travellers, and hotels are offering some bargain deals right now too. In Rayong, 39 teenagers were nabbed at a pool villa rented for a weekend party after neighbours called police. At the scene, in addition to alcohol, ketamine and ecstasy, which was found on at least one arrestee, in volume enough to assume that they were supplying others, all were tested for drugs and later COVID, and will have spent Saturday night and most of Sunday in crowded jails awaiting court appearances. In Rayong, as in Pattaya, those arrested for violating the COVID regulations are all held in police cells. Until they're taken to court, there's no easy out. Maprachan Lake, recently an arid and empty basin, is now filling quickly to the brim, with water reaching close to the roadside in some areas, and assuring the region of water supply in the new year. Other local reservoirs are not filling so fast, but we're told we'll see supplies diverted to them this or next week. Good news for those who in previous years have seen supplies reduced to a drip or less during the dry seasons. And with the Met Office promising highs today of 31, dropping to 27, and a good chance of rain at any time. Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or programme,